And welcome back. We're about to jump on into our third conversation for today. We started with purposeful living, realistic fitness goals. Then what about self-improvement skills? Now we've got the professional in to tell us about it. Paul Lecky from the Institute of Professional Development is in with us, and we'll be talking about self-improvement skills, negotiating for optimal results. Mr. Lecky, good morning, and how are you?
Good morning. I'm jolly well, thanks. Good to hear you.
It's nice to see you. Now, self-improvement skills definitely, for the most part, on top of the chain when it comes to people's New Year resolution. Now, let's jump into it. Talk to us about it. How do you get to it? Is there anything you'd like to jump on into first, Mar, before he...
No, I just wanted to find out more about your Institute of Professional Development. Tell us a bit about what you do.
What we do professional development training. We go into the organization, we look at the needs, and we develop the courses to suit the organization. So we develop based on your desired outcomes.
Okay.
So we might have, for example, let's say I'm doing a management skill training. One for Channel 5 might look a bit different from one for a hardware store, for example, based on your desire, your needs, and so forth. So we customize all our training. I would say 98% of our training are company specific.
Wow. And we are talking about being able to build what are typically called soft skills.
That's right.
Not necessarily the things you go to get certified in, but the personal characteristics or strengths and skills that we may have. Where do you find the most common weakness when you go into an organization? We'll keep it blanket, all organizations. What's the most common weakness? What are people struggling to be able to master?
I think the most common weakness is one of assertiveness. I think we tend to be quite passive.
Okay.
And when you look at even negotiating your salary, people tend to be very passive. What I find is that we have some brilliant people, no doubt, but they're afraid to speak up. So we don't benefit from it. And of course, the ones who are passive get walked over.
Wow. Can I just say, how long have we been saying this about Belize? That a part of our problem is that we are just too passive. We're friendly, we're nice, we're accommodating.
Yes.
So you say, do for X amount of money, okay. And maybe I know I'm worth more.
That's right.
Or maybe you give me an additional task and I know I cannot manage more, but I say yes.
Yes.
But let's venture out, because you did mention that lobbying for your money. For a lot of people, the topic of finances, or the topic of even having to negotiate for your finances, that's a very deep one. Reason being is because you don't want to be looked upon as a money grubber, a money hog. So how do you put yourself in the realm of being able to negotiate for your payments or for your money and not feeling bad about it?
Excellent question. I love that. So the thing is, one, you have to know your worth. Okay? So you analyze the situation first. You know what your worth is. You're going to talk to your boss about an increase. Of course, you choose your time, you set up your appointment, you let him know what you're coming to talk about, so you can be prepared as well. But when you go in, you're not now comparing yourself with others. You don't say, John is getting more than I am, and we're doing the same job. Use general terms. So you look at what's the rate, going rate. What do you worth? You don't talk about what you have done, talk about what you can do. Yes, because you're selling yourself. You talk about how you're going to move the organization forward. Because remember, the manager is always thinking about return on the investment. Yes? And there are times as well when the company cannot afford to pay more, but you can negotiate other perks. So you also have to go in with an open mind. But you must first know what is it that you want.
I appreciate that you say that, because it's not that these skills may get you the exact results that you want. And that's why it's negotiation.
That's right.
Can we just have a general concept? What are negotiation skills?
Well, the key skill with negotiation is the ability, one, to listen, actively listen. And I don't mean just hearing and trying to come up with a response, but actually listening, what we call empathic listening. I'm listening to you, I'm associating my knowledge with what you're saying. I'm not planning a response. I'm putting myself in your position. I'm reading your body language. Because words mean different things to different people. I am going to put forward, when I listen to you, I associate with what you're saying, I understand what you're saying. Sometimes you speak to somebody, the moment you start talking, they start to give you their own autobiography. So they're not listening to you. Right?
They're just jumping on the opportunity to talk about themselves.
That's right. So you have to listen. You have to have a positive mindset. Yes? You're going in for win-win. The key thing with negotiation, when you're going to negotiate the salary, for example, you're saying to your boss, look, you don't want to negotiate with you. I'm going for win-win situation. In other words, I want to reach a situation where I'm happy, the company is happy, the company is realizing return on their investment. Right? So you might even go from a position of win-win or no deal. So there's no pressure on anybody.
Yeah.
Yes? If we can't come up with win-win, then we don't have a deal. There's no pressure on anybody, there's no hard feeling.
Okay.
But you have to go in with that positive mindset. Determine when you'll stop negotiating. What are the things you'll compromise on and what are the things you will not compromise on? For example, your integrity. And so if you're asking me to do things that I'm not comfortable with, I'm not going to do it. Right? So there are positions that will not change. And there are positions that you'll compromise on or collaborate on.
Wow.
Tell us about this here.
Okay.
So you said idea. Okay, so we're looking at two parties, and I guess we're saying right now that it's boss and employee.
Right.
But it can be many different
It
scenarios.
can be many scenarios, yes.
It could be maybe I have a sale. I
That's
want to
right.
sell something.
Yes.
I want to buy something, or even within personal relationships, we do have to negotiate
Yes.
sometimes. We call it compromise.
That's right.
Well, you hear her say
yes.
that grudgingly.
And that's the problem. You see, collaboration is the best way to
Yeah.
go.
Okay.
When we can't collaborate, we compromise.
Yeah.
Yes? But yes, you should go in with the negotiation style.
Okay.
So am I going in for win-lose? Win-lose is saying that I'm right, you don't have a right, yes? So it's my way or no way, which is really the bully type of way, which is not the way to go. You can go for lose-win. And if you're a lot of passive people, they know they're right, they know, but you know what, the relationship is more important. So it's all right, John, you have your way.
Yeah. Or
Right.
it's the boss, so
It's the boss, so yes.
they win, I lose.
I lose.
Yeah.
I think that's the vision for a lot of people. Yeah, you know, for a lot of people that it would be an I win, you lose situation in negotiating with your bosses or your superior, and that's the
That's the
mindset. I
mindset.
think
That's the
that's going on
passiveness
right
that
now.
you speak about,
And that's
yeah.
what we need to change. You need to go for win-win.
So you don't want to flip from I lose, which is you boss man,
Yes.
dictate, and I just say, okay.
Right.
And I don't want to come in and say, listen, boss, I'm in charge here. I want this, and you must give me.
Yes.
Also wrong.
Also wrong.
Okay, where are we going?
Win-win.
Win,
Right.
win.
Yes. You have rights, and so do I. Let us collaborate. Let us see how we can meet each other. So we both come out winning. You have an organization to run. I have the skills. I can do this to help you get where you want to go. I need so and so in return. Right? And this is where we can negotiate. Yes?
And so you feel happier that maybe you have new services that your employee may take on, or a new perhaps workload or new attitude, or
Right.
a commitment to stay sometimes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because you see, if you go in and say, look, if you don't give me an increase, I'm going to leave. Well, guess what? You start off on the wrong foot.
Yeah.
Because even if the boss says, you know what, we need you right now, so I'll give you the increase. But he'll be looking to replace you because you have threatened him.
Yeah.
You're
It's
ready
bullying.
to
Yes.
the threat. Yes.
Yes. So it's coming and say, look, you know, I know you want the organization to grow. I want it to grow because I need to grow. Yes? I see where I could help here. Right? I want you to recognize my worth as well. Yes?
Okay. And what's the I lose, you lose?
You lose, yes. This is where people decide that the relationship is more important. Don't rock the boat. Nothing can be solved by conflict and so forth. So you know what? I withdraw physically and mentally. So everybody lose. I don't know what you're thinking. In a marriage, for example, your wife says something you're upset about, you don't agree, but you don't say anything. Right?
So she stays mad, you get
You
mad.
get mad, yes. Nobody wins. Or she do not know that she'll rub you the wrong way, but you have it up. So instead of going home in the evening after work, you go and play domino with the boys.
Which makes a bigger problem,
That
right?
creates a bigger problem.
That's also, I think, that's a great point.
That's a very great point.
We've talked about on the show, and especially, I think relationships are a great way a great example to use. A lot of times, we feel that people can read our minds, whether in relationships and sometimes even within a professional setting. I think that person thinks X, Y, or Z. I think my spouse should know that he or she upset me.
Right.
Why is that? What can we do to change that?
All right. One of the first things is, and you take me off on a different angle here.
Hi.
But one of the things, and this is important anyway, because male, female, we are wired differently. We respond differently. Men are more solution oriented. Women more act and emotion in general. Yes? So your wife said to you, well, for example, you're going out to the big function tonight, and she take up 3 dresses. And say, which one you think I should wear? Read her body language. She's not asking your opinion, she just wants confirmation. So when you said that one, she said, so what happened? You don't like this one? Yes? And you can get in an argument. And then you say, well, why did you ask me? Yes?
That's always the case.
Yes. So it's a matter of understanding that. Your wife said, John, I need your opinion. What she's saying is, I want you to listen. I want you to agree.
Or I want you to listen to my thought process as well.
Yes, she already have her opinion.
Yeah.
But you see again, because it's the emotional side, while you're seeing solutions. So why didn't you do that? Why don't you do that?
Okay.
So we first need to understand that. We're wired differently.
Okay.
A lot of marriages break down, a lot of conflict in the workplace because your boss is of the opposite sex. Why didn't you say that? Why didn't you do that? Well, I don't do that. I don't think the way you do. We'll get the same result. My approach is just different.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's go back to negotiating in the workplace then, because the marriage one will be here all day.
That's a whole new morning show.
And hopefully these skills may help in that area. But you want to go back to the professional setting.
Right.
There's something you need. It could be salary, more training, multiple things, right? Maybe I really want that promotion, and for some reason I keep on getting overlooked. And I want to talk to my boss about it. What are the important things that I need to develop?
The first thing you need to do, one, is to prepare, right? Because I said, you need to develop your listening skill. You need to develop how to present your ideas, because communication is a contact sport.
Of course.
So you have to know how you're going to present this thing so it's clear. So you have to do your preparation. Prepare, and then prepare some more, right? Develop your strategy. What strategy are you going to use to approach them? Then you get started, right? So you're going to go in, build rapport and understanding. Again, and this is where you just go in and just start talking. But you, like I said, be candid, put the card on the table. You know, this is the thing you want to discuss. This is the agenda, right? And you listen to their feedback first. You don't just jump in. You're going to bargain and then you're going to close. Yes?
Yeah.
Question. So what if you're negotiating and it seems great across the board and it seems that we're going to a win-win, but the final answer from your superior is actually, we'll eventually get back to you with that. And that's the drag feet process. So what do you do in cases like this?
All right. I appreciate the fact that you'll want to think about it some more. You'll want to negotiate some more with your colleagues. However, let us come to some agreement. When will you get back to me?
Right? Can you say that?
Of course you can. I use, like, for example,
So, go ahead.
I set the time. I said, when on Thursday at 2 o'clock will you get back to me?
Oh, you set the time. When on Thursday at 2 o'clock will you get back to me?
Yes.
Ah.
You see, you don't want to leave it home.
Yeah, yeah.
And they know you're serious then. But boy, I don't get a chance to discuss this yet. Next week. And they'll drag it on and on until somebody gets frustrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So set some time. Remember, it's a win-win situation you're going for, yes?
Yeah.
The boss need you, you need
You
the
need the
boss.
boss. Yeah.
Right? So we're not in this thing to fight. We're in this thing to come out where I feel comfortable, you feel comfortable,
And we grow.
Yeah.
and we grow.
Okay. Now, you spoke about developing a strategy. What does that mean?
All right. Well, when you're going, what do you want to achieve? Firstly, yes? How you're going to approach us? Yes, you might want to determine the time. Depends on the situation and what you negotiate. The place is very important.
Yeah.
And so your time in your place is very important. When you approach, what do you want to get out of it first? So you're going to determine, do I just go in and say, okay, let us start, you talk first. Do I go in and lay out the agenda? Right? Because you have to have an agenda, yes? These are the things we want to accomplish. These are the steps. What's your opinion? Because you want to get their thing first. You see, whoever talks first won the problem, generally.
Whoever talks first
Won the problem.
owns the problem. Okay. Okay. But that's
So-
why you said it's important to disclose what you want to discuss.
What you want, yes.
So it's not some blanket request for a meeting.
No.
Like, can I please meet with you on Monday morning at 8 a.m.? It's, can we discuss?
Yes,
Okay.
right?
All right.
I have some ideas I would like to share with you regarding my compensation and my tenure here and how we can move forward as a company or as a department.
So what do you do going into this negotiation, but your workplace or your boss actually, and you know this for a fact, is a bully? How do you approach? Because approach is very important.
Yes.
How do you approach somebody who is stern and,
Right,
and
good.
you know you've seen how this individual have been working along with people in the workplace? How do you approach this person?
John, you're my boss. I know you want this department to run well. I know you want us to be highly productive. Right? I want the same thing. I would like to discuss with you tomorrow at 9 how we can do that. I want you to show me how I can help you to achieve and how you can help me to grow.
And, you know, if they say, well, tomorrow isn't good, then you start
That's
to
fine, yes.
decide on, okay, well, what
Yes.
would Thursday work?
Yes, I might have suggested an inconvenient time. How is Thursday afternoon at 2:29?
2:29. And be there at 2:29.
And be there at 2, yes.
2:29.
You see, I want to be memorable
Yeah.
because sometimes I don't write it down. But you said 2:29, it's like, oh,
It's an odd
All right.
job.
But that's exactly what stands out.
yes.
Now, at what point do you assess for yourself whether or not your problem or your request is legitimate?
All right, and this is where your preparation comes in.
Yes.
And I strongly suggest doing a SWOT. So you're looking at your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Yes. So when you go in, and you're looking at their side and your side. So when you go in, you know exactly where your strengths are, where your weaknesses are, where their strengths and weaknesses are, so you know where you're moving to. Yes. So you're speaking from a point of knowledge. It's not like you're just fishing around.
Yeah.
And so you know where you are, you know what you want, what you will not negotiate. Yes? And you start from there. So you know what you're dealing with already before you go in. So you have to prepare. If you do not prepare, you're setting up yourself for failure.
Okay. So you do the SWOT analysis and then you develop your strategy,
Right?
your style, what tactics?
What tactics you're going to, yes.
What kind of tactics are we talking about?
Well, one, again.
Are you giving out too much information here? Is that what's happening?
But the thing is that you know the person you're going to deal with. And that's
Yeah.
why you have to do your preparation.
Yes.
Yes. You know who you're going to deal with. So you know what tactics you're going to use.
Yes.
Yes? You know where that person's hot button is. You see, even the most apparent arrogant person mean well. Their approach might be different.
Yeah.
Yes? So that boss that you think is unapproachable, he's just finding his hot button, and it's not that he's unapproachable.
Yeah.
You just don't figure out how to approach him. Yeah.
Wow.
I appreciate that you said that, because I think sometimes too, when we see people with very bad management styles, very poor management skills, it's sometimes that's all they've been exposed to.
Yes.
So that's all they know. So while you maybe need a different type of manager, it doesn't mean that they are in a position to be able to fulfill that. So you can still make the approach.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. You see, if I have not been trained in management, you have been my boss for the last 10 years. I do not like how you manage. In fact, I detest the way you manage. I'm now put in a management position.
Oh, you're going to be me.
I am going to be you. Because then I start to figure, okay, this is why you operate that way.
My only exposure
Yes,
has
it's
been how you manage.
Exactly.
Excellent.
So it
Wow.
still is worthwhile to make the approach, even if they seem, because the intention to run a good company is there. They're only doing what they know.
What they know.
Exactly.
Yes.
Now, we are talking about something I think that is such an essential skill. Negotiation in any form, in personal relationships, in professional relationships, is something that we need to be more comfortable doing. But, you know, Mr. Lecky, you said for yourself, we as a people in this country, somehow, we haven't developed this as much as we should. So when it's completely outside of your comfort zone, I mean, we're not just talking about somebody who's uncomfortable negotiating. We're talking about a passive, shy, we call them pushovers, we call them many different things. How does one find that within them to make maybe they never say more than good morning to Mr. Boss because they're so fearful of the authority that is there. How does one push themselves out of their comfort zone to do it?
Well, I'm glad you asked that, because I've had a lot of success with helping people to get out of that.
Okay.
The first thing is that you identify it. You know, this is not where I want to be. Like I said before, a lot of these people are brilliant people.
Yeah.
They have a lot to contribute. So first, if you get them to understand that, you know, you have made some strides. You have achieved some success. And I say one of the first things to do is sit down and write out 10 things that you have accomplished in your life. It might even be just how to fry an egg. Right? It can just simple thing, but they'll look, hey, I've accomplished things.
Yeah.
Yes? Think of a time when you have approached somebody and you got what you want. How did it feel? Yes? Learn the art of speaking. Public speaking is extremely important. The art of communicating. That's one of the first things you want to start doing, because that will help you to get out of that. Yes? So join a Toastmaster club, for example.
Or take a class at Mr.
Take a-
Lecky. I did a
take a
public
class
speaking
like
class
you
with
did.
Mr. Lecky
Good.
many moons ago.
Thank you so much. And I won't say much more because we have seen the results. Yes, but that helped tremendously. You see, when you're not afraid to present, the problem we have most time is because we're afraid to speak up.
Yeah.
Right? But once you start and realize, hey, people listen to me, then you start to get out of that.
Yeah.
But it has to be the desire to get out. And start at home. If you're feeling right now that, how do I break out of this? Start at home. Start with whoever you have at home. And if you're afraid of the people at home, go and talk to your dogs. Yes?
Start there.
Start there.
So rehearsal helps.
It does.
So I could say to my spouse or my family or my parent, my sibling, let me practice this in front of you.
That's right, yes.
And that will help me.
Yes, and they're your harshest critics.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Definitely.
So that works very well.
Okay.
And I'm right there on the bat with you when it comes to writing down your at least 10 achievements. Because when you write down achievements, it builds that sense of you get out of the rim, and it actually gives you the confidence to go on out. And a lot of people don't put this together. So that's a very important point, to write down your achievements.
Okay, you see, too often we say, well, I haven't achieved anything. And a lot of time you have achieved so much.
Fry an egg.
Yes.
Oh, fry an egg.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what happens if I enter into negotiations and I'm shut down from the start? Well, I understand, you disclosed. I understand that you wanted to talk about getting the new manager position. We already have somebody identified for the position, or it could be salary. We simply don't have the money. It's not going to happen. What do you do then?
And I do appreciate you saying that. I can understand your position. However, I'd still like us to talk and say, well, how do we grow from here? Right? How do we grow from here? Right, so let us discuss that and see. And money is not everything. Let us see how we can. Yes. Let us have a meeting of the minds.
So if you're not given an answer such as that, because probably your boss is not a good negotiator such as you tend to fall back in a shell. How do you get yourself?
All right, and this is where you don't want to go. Yes? And that's why you just said it about, give him the credit. Okay, thank you for being so candid. I'm glad you put that forward. However, you have somebody lined up for the position already, which suggests to me that you believe in succession planning. Now, what happens if that person don't wake up tomorrow morning? Who will you groom? So, just expose me. Let's just discuss.
Oh wow, yeah, that's
serious business.
If I were your boss, I'd say, yeah, you could understand. That was pretty effective. But let's go to another issue. You've done all your practice sessions. You have made your pitch. You failed. You were not able to gain any ground in the negotiation. Now I go back to my desk and I'm mad. I want to quit my job. I want to say, I'm just coming, showing up 8 to 5. I'm not doing anything else, anything extra.
Then what you have done is destroyed yourself. What you need to do is not to go back, but to go back now and say, okay, let me show them my real worth here. You cut yourself short and say, I'll do enough to get by. You go back. I believe when you go to work, you work. You show people your worth.
Yeah.
When you go to work, you're not thinking about the money. Yes, money is important, but when you go to work, you work. You show your worth. Yes? So when you decide to go back and talk, nobody can say, well, you're very exacting.
Yeah.
Yes? But you go back and show your worth. Yeah, you see, you have to choose your emotion. If you get upset, that's a choice. And yes, sometimes we get mad, but if you find yourself getting upset for longer than 5 minutes, then something is wrong. Yes. It's okay, you're going and you punch the wall and you kick and you do everything else and you get back and you, okay, now where do I move forward now? Yes? You have to control the emotion. Everything in life is a choice.
It's true. Is there a timeline for your negotiating or negotiate with somebody? Okay, I negotiate with the bosses, and they will eventually get back, or they said that they'll be getting back. I was turned down afterwards. Is there a timeline that I should think about going back there, or I do it tomorrow?
No, well, you can set the timeline, right? I believe in setting the timeline. Okay, when should we discuss this again?
Following the letdown.
Yes.
This is after getting back to me.
Yes. I mean, I understand your position. So when should we revisit this? Another 6 months? How are you going to measure my progress between now and then? Yes? And set some time.
All right, so let's look at our final 10 negotiation techniques. And your first one is the most crucial, you
Yes.
say.
Prepare. You cannot go in negotiation without preparing. You're setting up yourself for failure. Right? Pay attention to timing, because that's very important. If the organization is going through some rough times right now, it's probably not the time to negotiate. Yeah, that we are increasing salary, for example.
Yeah.
So you have to choose your timing. Leave behind your ego. So you're walking, well, all right, you're prepared. You're going to listen to me this morning. Yes. No. You're going for win-win and no deal. So you're going in looking, let us agree to disagree agreeably. Right?
Let us agree to disagree agreeably.
Yes.
Okay.
Develop on your listening skills. And this is so important. Learn to actively listen. Learn to read body languages. Because my mouth might be saying one thing, but my eyes are saying something else. Yes?
This one I can tell you, sometimes you don't need to wait for the response, the face or the body says so much.
Exactly.
But this sometimes counters this, where you're so prepared for every possible response that you don't listen. You hear the first trigger word and I'm ready to come
That's
back.
right, yes.
Yeah.
That's why we have to listen. Listen without interrupting. The only way I'm going to know what's on your mind is to listen to you without interrupting. Right? If you don't ask, you don't get. Huh? And we know that from Sunday school, right? Ask and you shall receive. Anticipate compromise. You're going and this is what you want. But prepare to compromise if that's the case. Okay. Again, you know how far you'll go, but prepare to compromise. Offer and expect commitment. So you're going to have commitment and you're going to make note, okay, boss, I'm making a note of it. This is what you're committing to. Yes? Don't absorb their problem.
What does that mean?
Okay, come people and give you all kind of problems. You get all kind of song and dance why this can't happen. Don't take that on. You hear it and just move straight on talking about the issue at hand. You don't get on into their problems. Right? Don't take that on.
Oh, you mean they may try to deflect?
Yes.
With, the last person we gave this job to didn't do X, Y, and Z. But that's not you.
That's not you.
You didn't do that.
No. So you don't take that on. You just continue. As I was saying, I think we could do X, Y, and Z in order to advance this department. And you continue.
Okay.
You don't take that on.
All right.
Collaborate and teamwork. And control your emotion.
What about, this is a horrible one, and I'm not sure how to word it.
I can't wait to hear it.
Because there are some situations where people have an inflated sense of self. You know what I mean? Maybe you haven't done enough to deserve what you're asking for. How do you check yourself before? That's what I'm getting at. Because it does happen.
Yes, and this is where looking back at your strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah.
You see, you have to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
Look back at your strengths and weaknesses. Because those you can control.
Yeah.
Right, and determine how you're going to deal with them before you go in. So yes, I know I've been arrogant. Yes, I know I've been hot under the collar. So when you go in to negotiate, you put those on here. Look, over the past months, I know I've been so and so and so. However, this is what I've decided to do now. I've realized those weaknesses. And you put them on the table before somebody else put them for you.
Yeah.
But you have to look at yourself. If you're not prepared to do that, then you're going to be in problems.
You did mention you make sure you don't ask or want to approach when things are done for the company. Many a times, though, especially in this country,
we cry hard time all the time.
It's always a hard time. Or employers don't actually trickle that information down to employees. So you get in a meeting, we're about to negotiate, and then they say the company is not doing well, and we don't see this getting up there until. Do you move out of the company? What do you do?
All right. Well, this is where you have to do your preparation first. So when you go in, you know what the story is. And yes, there are some times when you have to move because you have to make a decision. Well, will this suit me? Yeah. Yes? As Dr. Henry Cloud put it, he called it necessary ending.
Necessary ending.
Yes.
I think that's a great point. If you are entering into a negotiation and perhaps the person on the other side is being untruthful, is not considering anything that you're saying, and you no longer feel that your worth or value is being respected, then maybe it is time for the necessary ending.
Yes, move. You're not a tree. You're not planted.
Or if you really do need more money, it is a need, not a want. Yeah. And they cannot offer it, and you may be able to get it somewhere else.
Caution though. Don't go in there and say, look, don't take your personal thing. I need more money because my children going to school and I
just
need
had a new baby.
Yes, don't carry that in there. You're going in there for what you want.
I can't come in and say I want to buy a house or I had a new baby.
No, that's not the point for negotiating.
Keep it to worth.
It's your worth, yes. What do you worth to the organization?
Okay. Thankfully, we got that included. Well, we appreciate this information. Once again, of course, this is part of what you do at the Institute of Professional Development.
That's correct.
How do people get in touch with you if they want to access your services?
All right, well, there are a number of ways. We're on Facebook, Twitter, and all the social media. But our website is ipdbelize.com.
ipdbelize.com. That's it.
That's it. Or you can email us at info@ipdbelize.com or call me at 615-9466 or the office 602-1182.
Okay. And we will be sure to post this presentation so that you can have some ideas as to how you can enter into negotiations as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for the opportunity to share. I appreciate it.
We are going to go ahead and take our final break, and when we come back, we'll have our wrap-up.